Hi, welcome to Model Trains. Today we're going to look at the Pugh and Company coal wagon and its history, dating back to 1979. As an owner of the wagon at the time, I suppose I am as well placed as anyone to review this wagon, but I thought I would have a deep dive into its history and relevance and whether it was based on a real private owner coal wagon or whether it was fictitious. Here are some details of the wagon itself. The Hornby part number was R010, running number was 380. It was a 7-plank open wagon. Its publication was listed as an uncatalogued model. And the reason for this was the model was in fact a gift model handed out by Hornby distributors to customers who purchased a Hornby locomotive regardless of the value. I don't remember what I purchased or likely what my parents bought for me, but I certainly remember very well having owned this wagon and very happy memories running this model. Initially I thought this wagon had really amazing new printing and decoration techniques, as when this wagon was released, it was, in my opinion, head and shoulders better than anything else that was available at that time. As I said, I had very fond memories of running this wagon and thinking it was the best looking wagon that I'd owned, from a basis of what I already had with Hornby, Lima and Wren wagons. It came in a white box, which was out of the ordinary from the usual red boxes that Hornby would normally issue. This sales drive, I think, was quite successful for Hornby. Released in 1979 for 1 year only, they did actually produce around 120,000 models, which even by today's manufacturing standards is very high. Listed as based on real private owner wagons, I wonder if the description Hornby gave was in fact accurate. After some searching, it started to unravel. The original tooling of this wagon allegedly was based on the Hornby 007-plank open wagon dating back to 1952, which I find surprising as the wagon was really excellent for the time, bearing in mind it was 1979. Amazingly, there are references to a 1940s rare green version of Pugh and Company. But I wonder, was this the first issue? Were there any historical facts about there being green or indeed a red version? Unfortunately, as the real wagon dates back to circa 1901, no records could be found or any images for that time. It is likely, however, Hornby did have records on this in the 1940s, as the wagon decoration and inscriptions look authentic. R. Pugh and Company was a London coal merchant with depots at Chelsea Basin and Gospel Oak. Chelsea Basin, or harbour, stands on land that was once the 28-acre estate of Sandford Manor House. Among other occupants, it is reputed to have been the residence of Nell Gwynn, a 16th century actress and long-term mistress of King Charles II of England. I learned that she tried to strike a deal to be paid £500 a year to remain the mistress of King Charles II, which by today's financial standards would have been an absolute fortune. It's worth researching her, as her life was very interesting indeed. At the start of the 19th century, the area was in decline and was bought by a gas company. This looks likely to be Fulham Gasworks, or at least incorporated them. Part of the land was used as a Victorian-era coaling yard or coaling dock on the River Thames, and this would have included Pugh and Company. Pugh and Company owned about 40 wagons and had a royal warrant from King Edward VII, who reigned from 1901 to 1910, and they obtained coal from the Derbyshire area. As royal warrant holders, our Pugh and Company would have supplied coal to Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, and the Sandringham Estate in Norfolk. So we find that Pugh and Company did exist, and the location and background are quite fascinating. Equally, the model itself. It's interesting that Hornby had actually produced a model from 30 years earlier, around 1947. There are also grey versions and other red versions with alternative running numbers, although dating those two has been difficult. Although the light green version is much harder to obtain, the red version is still around and fairly easy to find. It can be found in quite good condition for reasonable prices. I hope you enjoyed this Model in Focus history episode. I certainly enjoyed the research. I was pleasantly surprised by what was revealed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.